Welcome everyone. Today we're going to be doing a little bit of a chatbot review stroke walkthrough. It's one of the things I want to start doing. I used to do a lot of these. In fact, I reckon I've tested personally about 300, maybe more than that now, different chatbots over the last couple of years. And I wanted to start reviewing them again online for you guys so that you can get an idea of how different chatbots are put together, different implementations, different strategies. And today we're going to be looking at Gary Vaynerchuk's chatbot. He announced a couple of days ago that he'd launched his chatbot. I had a little dive in just to make sure it was live and it worked, and it does. But I didn't dive in too far because I wanted this to be an honest user point of view. I'm a big fan of Gary's, but if his chatbot's shit, I'll tell you. And if it's brilliant, I'll tell you. And if it's somewhere in the middle, I'll definitely tell you. So let's take a look first. So when I originally tried it, I launched it off his Facebook page where he started marketing it. Good tip for you: marketing your chatbot. Everybody fails miserably when marketing their chatbot. If you've got a big Facebook audience, I think Gary Vee's got over 3 million fans on his. It's an obvious place to start marketing it. However, we're going to access it straight from the phone today. So here's the phone screen. Yeah, we'll go that side. Okay, just delete that message. It just came in from Gary. There we go. So if you want to search for it, go to the Discover tab, which is the bottom right hand corner of the three icons at the bottom of Messenger, the compass, and all you need to do is just type Gary Vaynerchuk. Gary Vaynerchuk, there he goes, comes up. I know it's the right one because he's verified, and if I click that, I'll be greeted by the Get Started button. So when you see the blue Get Started button on a chatbot, it means that they've connected some bot software. Chatfuel, ManyChat, there's so many out there. I'm a massive fan of ManyChat, and if that's the platform you're looking to, give me a shout and I'll give you my link to it. If you see that they've got it, it doesn't mean that when you click the Get Started that you're going to have a chatbot experience. It just means they've connected the software. So we've got, important to look at this screen because this is kind of a greeting screen. We've got Gary there, Gary picture, got his name. His page is an entrepreneur page. So it's not a person, it's a business page set up as an entrepreneur. So as you 3 million people like this, including Valentin Radu and 100 friends. Valentin's a good friend of mine. I met earlier this year in Slovenia. Very talented guy. So then we've got a little bit of an intro. There is a restriction on how many characters you can have there. Gary Vaynerchuk is the chairman of VaynerX, a modern day media and communications holding company, and the active CEO of VaynerMedia. I'm not so sure about that. For me, that doesn't seem very, the way that starts is not very Gary. He doesn't speak like that, but that's perhaps the decision they've made. So it prompts you, it doesn't actually prompt you in that text to hit the Get Started or kind of set the scene. Could be a conscious decision or something they've not really thought about. And then you'll see there's some text above that Get Started button, which is always kind of greyed out, and I think it needs to be more obvious. This is imposed by Facebook, and it says when you tap Get Started, Gary Vaynerchuk will see your public information. So don't worry too much about that. It's going to see basically going to see your profile picture, your name, and your gender if it's set. But that is about it. You don't see a lot else. Okay, so I'm going to click Get Started. Okay, so straight away comes up, yo, it's Gary Vee-bot. That is more like it. That's how Gary speaks. Brilliant. So go back up to the top, picture of Gary at the top, 3 million like this entrepreneur, all good. Welcome Jim, personalise the message, very important and very easy to do, to Gary's new Facebook Messenger community. Now that is really important, and I say this a lot with clients, is sell that this is a closed community. This is just not blurting out to everybody, to the wide open world, and then some people will see it. This is to a closed community, and you've got to have opted in to see these messages. At this stage, remember, I've not opted in. So although I've clicked to the Get Started, there needs to be a second action, and that action is me pressing another button or sending a message. So remember that it is GDPR compliant. Double opt-in. And he starts off with a nice little video to learn more about it. So let's play that. You can't hear it, but yeah, you can see the subtitles. You only can't hear it because I've got the wire plugged in. So he's going to ask some questions, tailor the messages just for you. Hit the start button to get started. I'm on board. I'm looking to jam. That's very Gary Vee. Oh, there we go. So stop that. That's very how Gary talks. So that sounds it. And then just to make sure people understand what they've got to do is click pointing down emoji if you're in. Sign up now. So the sign up now I really like. It kind of puts you in the right mode to understand that you're signing up for something to get something delivered via this platform. Very nice. Below that you can see that to send the message, and if I just swipe up slightly we'll see his menu. So this is called a persistent menu if you don't know. And he's got start over. Brilliant. I'm a big fan of that. Oh, my tea's getting cold. God, yeah. Start over, that's brilliant. So you click the button, it takes you right back to the initial greeting, however deep you are within his chatbot. Really nice. We've got connect with Gary Vee, and then we've got a more option, and we can see with that more option, because of the arrow at the end, that there's a sub menu. Click in. Got manage notifications, inspire me, share bot with a friend. Now that I really like. I'm just going to screenshot that because I want to test that later. So share bot with a friend. One of the hardest things with a chatbot is to get more subscribers. So sharing with a friend I think is absolute genius. It's a shame that is hidden. I would have liked to have seen that higher up here, knowing how persistent menus are used, whereas the top menu item on the top level gets 90% of the clicks. That share bot with a friend should have probably been up there, and for virality, for getting more subscribers, that would have been absolute genius. We'll perhaps come back to those later. Okay, get rid of the menu by just swiping down. So we're going to sign it up. So remember, I'm not a subscriber yet. Just because I've been in once, I haven't done the double opt-in. So sign up now. Message received. Nice little GIF. I do love a GIF of Gary. If anybody knows Gary, that is Gary all over. Jim, I'll ask you 2 sets of questions. It'll be worth it. Let's go with the quick one first. So personalised start to the message. He's set the tone and he's set my expectations. Very good. Do you want to receive occasional news from Gary? Yes, I do. Click it because I'm interested to see how he follows up later. So he's put in a delay, so that's not a human type in. That delay is put in there to kind of humanise the bot. In terms of how long that went on for, I would have liked perhaps a second, maybe 2 seconds longer, but that's personal opinion. So Gary has started a private texting platform where he's texting with fans. Want to give G your phone number? Tap the button below or send a message with another number if it... no. I don't want to, so I'm just going to type no. I'm a bit confused there. Okay, so that is quite confusing, that element there. So it's asking me if I want to, but it doesn't give me an option to say no. What it does is it pops up and says what you've entered doesn't look like a phone number, please enter. So I'm going to skip that. So I should have had that skip option higher up there. Definitely. I think that's quite confusing for people. So I'm going to skip it. I don't want to give Gary, I don't want to receive SMS messages from Gary, basically. Is this the right email address for Gary to reach you? Tap the button or enter another email below. So it has brought up my personal email. I don't mind if you've seen it. I don't really use it a lot, to be honest. But I don't want to give it. Again, hasn't given me the option to skip. Now that could be a conscious decision. I'm just going to type no again. I think that's a foolish decision. I know he's desperate to get those emails in, but people are a bit more cautious, especially here in Europe. And there goes. He said that doesn't look like an email address either. So this conversation has been massively dehumanized just for those 2 failures there of not giving me the option to skip giving my number and not giving me the option early on to skip giving my email address. So I'm going to skip that. At this stage, you know, treat people with a bit of respect. They probably don't. People are very nervous about giving their phone number and their email address at this stage. I think he's coming really early. Perhaps once I've consumed some content in Messenger, I might be more willing to share that information. So it says, stay up to date on when Gary's in your hometown. Share your location by tapping the button below. want to share my location. I'm quite comfortable with that, but there isn't an option not to do it, which is fascinating. So I'm just going to share my location. Share location. Please press the button below to share your location. Send location. Okay, so it's picked me up. I'm at Jim Rowe-bot, and I'm going to hit send. Okay, that's been received. A little bit clunky, but there's not a lot they can do about that. It's very much controlled by the system. Thank you, Jim. Only a few more questions to go. In case Gary ever wants to hook up with you some gear, what's your mailing address? I see. Going in early with a mailing address. I don't really want to share it with you, Gary. And as much as I'm a fan, you've actually got my details. I've purchased from you, so no, I don't want to give that. There we go. I'm going to go in with that. Now I imagine at the back end, whoever's doing the admin for this is going to get lots of people doing stuff like that because it's quite confusing. And then it gives me the option to skip. Again, going in too hard too early, but you know, first time Gary's launched it, he's probably doing his testing, so skip it. Birthday again, Gary going heavy with, you know, that's real deep personal information. Do I really want to be sharing my birthday? No, I'm not sharing that. You know, that is deep private information. You've got my name, you're asking for my address, my phone number and my date of birth. That's too much information. I'm not sharing it, so I'm going to skip that. So this whole process for me now, I feel, has been going on for too long. I think his strategy to get as much information as quickly as possible is the wrong one for me. I feel very uncomfortable with it. I think it's going on too long. It's just asking too many questions, and I just want to get into getting some content off Gary, get the trust there, get flowing, and then he can start to ask that information. And with a really good strategy and some really clever built kind of sequences, he could have gained all that information later on and just appended it to the information he already had. I don't want to share that either. Again, a lot of information you're giving up there, and I worry about where that information is going to be. Don't want to share that, so he's going to come up again. So my gut feeling is all of this is now being added into at least a spreadsheet. If it's Gary Vee, it'll be into a CRM system. Job title, no, I'm not giving that either. What industry do you work in? That's fine, I can give that, not too worried. At this stage, you know, although I'm a massive fan of Gary, I'm getting really bored. How do you prefer to consume your content? So there's a load of questions in there that could have been asked later on in follow-up messages. And he's asking what I prefer. I'm just going to select LinkedIn just to be different. Which one content topic would you love more of? I like the viewer Q&As, they're good. That's it, you're all signed up. It means a lot to Gary that you've joined this community. Stay tuned for amazing news. Okay, so in the background what's happening is, as you put all that information in, obviously it's being collected for other marketing channels, and also for targeting follow-up broadcasts and sequences and bits of information. He's welcome to use a GIF again. I really love it. And then they've got the continue button. So hit continue. Look yourself in the mirror and ask, why do you want to do every day for the rest of your life? Do that, Gary Vee. Oh, what do you want to do? Fair enough. Now what? Why not hit Gary up? So connect with Gary Vee, inspire me, share with friends, leave feedback. Main menu. Okay, I quite like that. Some nice call to actions there. You could have half the time I spent giving him all that information at this stage, and then I could have collected a lot more later on. Sorry about notifications. So I'm going to I'm going to hit the Inspire Me because I saw that was part of the menu options. So what I hope there is that Gary's going to share a bit of content. Ready to crush it, Gary Vee's here to pump you up. I don't know why that's in there. So I'd already hit Inspire Me and now I'm hitting Inspire Me again. Oh, okay, so he's just going to have these little images that I can share. I can, you know, with a little share button on the side. Wish is a dangerous way to start a sentence. Okay, fair enough. I'm going to go back to main menu. Jim, ready to go on the offence today. Be first to access exclusive content, offers and giveaways. Connect with Gary, share with a friend. Let's try the connect with Gary and see what happens. Message Gary, tweet Gary, share with a friend. Okay, for me personally, there's too much going on. It's trying to show off too much too soon. It should have been nicely set. It did set the scene, which I really like. Should have been a few questions about what kind of content I would like to receive, and then kind of drop me into that content. It's trying to do too much too soon. Bored out of my mind already. So I'm going to go back to the main menu. What I do, bring up the menu at the bottom. Okay, so we've kind of done the connect with Gary Vee because it's on the menu item, but we also press the button. Start over starts you at the beginning. Let's have a look at them more again. Manage notifications. So as I've gone through asking those questions, I imagine he would have turned on notifications for all different types of content. And over time, content I don't like, so he might start talking about wine, which is one of his businesses. I've got no interest in that. So hopefully there's a way to turn off that content. What I want to finally look at is this share bot with a friend option, which is an exciting idea, hidden far too deep in the menus, but it's worth taking a look at. Okay, share bot with a friend, click the button. Who in your network are serial entrepreneurs, creators, or straight up hustlers? It would mean a lot to me. It would mean a lot to me if you share this bot and invite 5 of your close friends. It's called the sharing economy for a reason. Yeah, so it's something he spoke about for years, starting with, I think, his first book, The Thank You Economy. So offers and giveaways, join the community. That's quite a nice little card actually. So I've hit share, there you go. Pretty damn simple. I like that. And if I hit sign up, I think it's going to take me back through that process again. Yes, it is. So going back into Gary Vee, the whole process where it's kind of almost like starting over again. So let's talk about it. What are my takeaways? So firstly, excited to see someone as talented in the marketing world as Gary Vee to be jumping into bots. He's obviously, him and his team have spent some time thinking about how they were going to roll this out, how they were going to implement it. It's got a nice look and feel, and I think the pace is good as well. You know, it doesn't keep you hanging on too long, but it's got a nice flow to it, which I think is important. I think the voice didn't catch me at the beginning on his startup screen, but actually it sounded, you know, I could hear Gary Vee talking as it was going through, so it got a lot better. And in terms of weaknesses, it went on for too long. I just want to sign up for some content. It should have given me a piece of content, and it didn't really give me that little image with a bit of text on, which I thought was weak. I would have liked it to actually share a nice bit of content with me, perhaps something about Messenger and the power of it and where he sees it going. That would have been lovely. Yeah, plenty of calls to actions in there, but my biggest concern is the amount of questions it asks. It goes on for too long, and the personal nature of a lot of those questions. I think if his strategy should have been a little bit lighter on the personal information, and perhaps you could add to that later on. But apart from that, I think it's a good implementation for his first bot, and I'm excited to see some of his content come through, and I'll be sharing that with people within my Facebook group, which is Jim Rowe-bot's Messenger Marketing Masterclass. If you want to get in on that group, just give me a shout. So thanks for getting involved. How long we've been talking? I've been recording for 20 odd minutes. By the time I've edited it down, it's going to probably be an 18-minute video. Not too bad. Take care.